Number 3, choosing your seeds and starts. This is probably one of the most exciting parts of gardening. You get to decide what you want to grow, and that reason can come from personal preference, nutritional benefits, how long it lasts in the shelf, or how it can withstand handling. But food is also deeply connected to culture and food traditions.
So I'm going to start with a little background. I'm originally from Mumbai, India, and I used to love the food that my family cooked, my mom and my grandmom. And when I came here, I of course borrowed all my recipes from them, and every time I cooked, it never tasted the same. So I always thought that I was a bad cook. And then I did stewardship and I started working in the community garden. I realized about crops, about varieties and cultivars, and how they are cultivated for maybe shelf life and for transportation and maybe for aesthetics rather than just the taste. And that is why the food never tasted the same here. So then I've gotten involved in being more intentional about what crop I'm choosing. I'm learning how to plant them. I recognize that a lot of those crops need warm weather, and we are in a different climate and weather type.
The crop that you plan to grow really depends on the climate hardiness zone that you are in. A climate hardiness zone tells you how harsh or mild your climate is. In King County, hardiness zones range from 8B to 6A, generally getting colder as you move from west to east. Seed packets will often provide information about when to sow seeds depending on what your hardiness zone is. They will also tell you whether seeds should be started indoors, like tomatoes and eggplant, and then transplanted to your garden, or directly sown, meaning that they are planted straight into the ground.
Okay, so at the beginning of season, which is February, I start craving to come out in the garden and start dreaming of what we're going to start. We think of the soil temperatures. That's the first most important thing that I think about, soil temperatures and what will germinate in that temperature.
The estimated first and last frost date for your zip code is very important to know. They mark the first day and last day where you can grow seeds outside.
For example, in Renton, Washington, the last frost date falls around March 24th, and the first frost date is around November 17th.
Here in the Pacific Northwest, we have, in a way, a longer growing season, but there are only some crops that grow super well here, which are often referred to as cold season crops, like radishes and kale and collard greens and things like that. Things can grow in the ground through the winter, sometimes with some season extenders like covers and things like that I wasn't aware of till I moved to the Pacific Northwest. In terms of warmer season crops, I grew up on the East Coast, and we can easily grow tomatoes and corn and things like that, eggplant. Those are a little trickier here. One of the things you can do is learn how to start them yourself, so you can start them indoors, start them with heat mats, start them with lights. Another option, especially for a new gardener, is to buy starts. So you can buy small tomato plants and put them into the ground when we finally warm up in end of May, June.
Another thing to consider is rain. So much rain here in King County, Washington in general. Heavy rain in King County is generally expected between January to May and October to December. Heavy rain can cause soil erosion. This is when rain or other elements strip away your soil's important nutrients. We definitely recommend protecting your soil during the winter here by planting cover crop or using sheet mulch, because healthy soil means healthy food.
It can be cover crop, at the same time it can be edible through winter, and I did do cilantro through this season. I noticed my cilantro is thriving. It was snowed on, but the snow melted and it's looking amazing. So there are options that can be substituted as edible plants, but they can also work as cover crop. So I like that within plants and cropping and thinking of dual or maybe even more use of the resources, multiple use of resources.
Number 4, crop location. Plants are a lot like people. They have different preferences, and some of them pair better together than others. But generally, the more diverse a garden is, the better. When deciding where to plant your seeds and starts, it is good to think about what their sunlight, water, and soil needs are. Additionally, consult your seed packet for plant spacing estimates and directions for thinning out seedlings. Crop rotation is super important for soil health. So if you keep growing the same crop in the same area, over time, the soil will be depleted of its nutrients. Overall, crop planting can make your life so much easier. At the same time, it's totally okay to be flexible and change your plan as you go. My mom's immigration story was filled with trials and errors because she created something out of nothing, and that's kind of like gardening. Gardening can be a similar process of struggle and creation. It is also a way to ground ourselves to something familiar during a time of transition. Wherever you are on your journey, just know that you are not alone. KCD's Community Ag Team is proud to support community gardens that serve immigrant and refugee communities in King County. Check out kingcd.org for more information, and let's grow something great together.